Good morning, this is Farm to Table Boys YouTube channel. Second official video, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how we got started farming and how to farm for free in an area where acreage is 6 figures an acre. We live in a very residential area. I actually live in an HOA neighborhood. This is not my property, this belongs to a friend of mine. But how I got started in farming, I started with quail. I love the sound of bobwhite quail, and growing up my pawpaw would take me quail hunting, and I just wanted to hear that sound again since it's hard to find them in nature anymore. So I got some bobwhite quail, and I did something called just kind of invented it, I guess, I don't know, but came up with a quail compost where I could free range my quail. I know that sounds impossible, but we were able to accomplish that. Lost a lot to predators, but we were able to free range them if you leave a couple back and have a recall, and we built compost with them. And I couldn't figure out how to get rid of grain with the quail, even with letting them out to go out and do their thing. And my whole objective is to be off feed for livestock. That's why I love ruminants, because this is what they eat. My second thing I got into, it was chickens. I bought a few chicks, probably at Tractor Supply or something like that, and got into chickens, and over time figured out how to be 100% off the food grid with chickens. We don't feed them anything from the no grain, and figuring out a lot of cool stuff with that, how much healthier my chickens are now than what they were, how there's zero smell in their compost bin. They sleep in a compost bin, and they stir it up and build really good compost. And it's so fun raising chickens. And then get eggs every day. I know they're doing so well because I get eggs every single day, and in abundance. Just crazy. And then so we figured the chicken game out as far as that goes. Hard to scale that. We've tried some pastured poultry. It's really hard with the predators. I've got some other ideas we're going to attempt with the pastured poultry, but that's been a little bit difficult. And then I got into targeted grazing. I bought a little, my goal in buying property, I've always bought and sold little tracts of land. Start with the cheapest piece of ground I can find, with the end goal being to buy a piece that I could farm. And I do have that now. It's just an hour and a half away, because like I say, this is over 100 grand an acre here, so you can never recoup it. And it's even hard to farm if you inherit the land. But if you're starting from scratch on a small scale, you can't look at it as it's a really hard thing to make a profit at. And it's hard if you inherit it. We haven't inherited any. We've purchased, and then we get to farm this for free for now until it's developed. But that being said, started with a little 5-acre tract, sold it, made 30%, bought another tract, sold it, made 30%, bought it all with cash. I mean, this is fairly inexpensive land. I guess it depends on your definition of expensive. That little lamb on the log, lambs love to climb and jump and play. And yeah, so anyway, it just kept buying and selling little tracts of land until I finally was able to buy 10 acres up in North Georgia on a really big river. And I feel like almost a God thing, because it's so awesome. It's got all deep water. I can fence to the river because I kept cattle out there this winter, and they won't swim the river because it's so deep. And then just an awesome piece of ground, which I'm thinking I'm going to sell possibly a couple acres of that to help pay myself back for my purchase. I had to spend a lot more than I really wanted to. But anyway, this piece of ground that's about 4 or 5 minutes from the house, I got it from a friend that's a developer, and he's going to develop it, and he gets a free farm hand. I keep it maintained until he develops it. Come out here and bush hog on occasion. I'm about to mow by the road, and it's Sunday, so as soon as I finish mowing by the road, I'm going to go home and get ready for church. And sheep are in full shed mode. But after I did the chicken thing, I got into the sheep. And the way I did that my last piece of property before this one, I bought it with sheep in mind, and I wanted to find something within a half an hour of my house. So I bought a wooded lot, all woods, big hardwoods, and with the intention of starting with targeted grazing. And the deal there is you bring your flock out and you put them on invasives like English ivy and kudzu and things like that. So the wooded lot was just as a insurance policy, I guess you'd say, in case I couldn't get enough targeted grazing business. And in the year and a half that I had that piece of property, only had the sheep out there probably 2 weeks total. So I would just do targeted grazing, bring them from one customer to the next, and that's how I got going with my sheep. And getting paid to feed your sheep, you know, you're getting them fed and people are paying you to feed them. It's pretty good gig. It just takes so much time. It was kind of like almost a pay cut for me because it was taken away from the way I really make a living. So and once I got this place to farm, I just kind of gave up on that. But that's a good way to get started. And then when it comes to the cattle, I traded some sheep for some cattle, and I went with the South Pole cattle because I'll get over here and show you pretty bull over here. Went with South Pole cattle because they are almost bulletproof. You know, they've been bred by Teddy Gentry, and this is the kind of stuff I do when I'm in pasture. I'm always eating like wild, what do you call these? Strawberries, violets, constantly kind of walking and eating. But Teddy Gentry came up with this breed, and they are just the best breed for the Southeast. That's a bold statement, but it's true. You get a chance to look up this breed, they're so cool. And I bought mine, actually traded some sheep for mine to raise up just for slaughter, for beef. I slaughtered one a few weeks ago, and all beef is great. When you get into the Brahma breeds or mixed, you might be eating a little bit too much gristle, but man, I'm impressed with the South Pole. I slaughter them as bulls. I don't steer because the testicles are nutritious and pretty good. So, and they grow faster. It's a little bit denser meat because they're so muscular, but all that testosterone, but just hard to beat. So this is a South Pole bull, and they're a smaller frame bull. The whole objective is get the biggest you can that can finish on grass, in my opinion, and have high percentage calving and all the things that you want with a cow breed. And man, South Pole are just so cool. They're just the best. But anyway, trade it for these. Slaughtered one a couple weeks ago. Actually gave some meat to a guy that's fighting bone cancer, that's gone full carnivore. This guy eats ribeyes every single day. And the ribeye that I gave him, he told me, and he was genuine about it, he said, that is the best steak I have ever had, which meant a lot coming from a guy that only eats meat. But if you want to farm, there's a way. If you want to farm for free, there's a way. This property is really pretty. I mean, you can see, I've been farming out here for like 3 years, and when I got it, it was just like grass dirt. It wasn't thick, it wasn't lush. But regenerative farming works, rotating your stock. I can rotate this bull in a single strand hot wire. But rotating your stock is key when it comes to regenerative farming. And just building this soil is so rewarding. I hate that this is going to be developed, but this is residential land. The farms are going away and the houses are coming in. That's just the way it is. Can't fix it, can't change it. And I'm all for a fella making a profit. I'm a capitalist. But it is sad. It's hard to watch. So anyway, that's what we have going. We got chickens, cattle, and sheep. I'd like to expand my cattle. I would love a cow-calf operation, we just have such small acreage that it's going to be difficult. So I'm trying to figure that one out, because the cows they're just easy. They're plug and play. They're just easy to deal with to me. So trying to figure that one out. But yeah, if you want to farm, there's a way to do it with very, very low cost, and you can at minimum feed your own family, and that's what we're currently doing. But I'd like to get to the point where we're growing, I don't have a green thumb, but growing almost all of our food. I'd like to only be buying sea salt. Outside of that, my goal long term is it's just more rewarding. Like, if you're a hunter, you get it. You go out hunting, and then whenever you cook that back strap, that if you kill a deer, you just know, you know where it came from, you know how it was harvested, and there's a different feeling when you're eating it. And I think that's the way God intended us to consume our food. It's just a better life. It really is. And I want more of that life, and I want to share that life with others. And I want to help people. If you have any questions about how to start farming for free, how I got this property for free, how you can raise chickens without any feed cost, how you can raise ruminants with very minimal cost. If you bale your own hay, almost no cost other than salt. I also put out minerals, but they don't touch it because we have such diverse pastures. They're getting all their nutrient needs from this guy's so full of flies. I'm about to spray a natural fly spray on him, but the cattle are miserable this time of year. It's rough on them. So anyway, just some rambling there before I start my chores out here. And if you have any questions about how we started farming, now's the time. If you Google the average farmer in America, you'll see that now's the time. If you Google how many farms there were 100 years ago versus today, now's the time. And if you know anything about food density and you want to raise real food for your family and not the store-bought nutrient deficient garbage, now's the time. And if you have a dream to do it, I dreamed about it since I was a little boy. It's been my lifetime dream. Just go for it. I mean, there's a million different ways to get it going. You don't have to break the bank to do it. You can be creative with it, and it's a joy. It's so fun.